Hey there. Today I'd like to talk to you about the Ouija board. A Ouija board is a divination device. The aim is to allow you to speak with the beings of the other world. There have been many of these in different cultures throughout human history, but the most modern version is as follows. A board which has all the letters of the alphabet upon it and a yes and no, normally connected with the signs of the sun and the moon. Sometimes you also see things like numbers or shortcut phrases put upon it. If someone doesn't have one of these, of course, they can just write the letters on pieces of paper and put them on a smooth table. Then a glass or a planchette. A planchette is a piece of wood cut in the shape of a heart or a shield, is placed upon the board, and the practitioner or practitioners will enter into a trance, allowing their hand to be moved by the spirit which they seek to contact. This way, whole messages can be spelt out, and as you can imagine, it's normal to have someone writing down each letter who is a spectator and not involved in this. But it is equally possible to do this completely on your own if you keep focused and aware. Now, let me be clear. This is not a recommendation. Quite the contrary. The Ouija board is an effective method if all you're seeking to do is get some kind of communication. If you try it with a friend, you'll certainly receive a message or two. But the message or two is probably not from someone or something you'd like to invite into your hand or your head. I have consistently observed the board to have a resonance that attracts the weak, the vicious, and the deceptive influences. It's like having a direct line to a phone box in the bad part of town, or a login to a particularly vicious forum or chat room. At the best, you'll waste your time, and indeed you're most likely to have an experience when you realise that the thing you're talking to isn't what it says it is, and doesn't have your good intentions at heart. You've probably had experiences like this just in life when you've talked to someone in the street or a social event, and after a while realise there's something a little bit wrong with them, or they're not the kind of person you want in your sphere of influence. Perhaps you've gone one step further by mistake and actually got a friend who's not really a friend. It's a frenemy of sorts, and they're disruptive in your life and not good for your thinking, so you've got to get rid of them. So that's not the kind of experience we're looking to have. So for this reason, I recommend you avoid the Ouija board. But it could be that as you watch this, you're thinking, there are some very genuine authorities that say very different things than you, Martin. And this is certainly true. Well, I'm here to tell you that those authorities are exceptions, and I'll explain to you why they're exceptions, and you should not expect to get the same results as them. There are some practitioners who describe the first contact they have through the board as being a very positive guide, a heavenly influence. And they suggest that the same will happen for you. If you look into those practitioners' lives, you find that they're really pure-hearted, and their life was moving towards a very special influence, message or contact at the time when they put their finger to the planchette. It was a message waiting to come through in any way it could. They were having it in their dreams, it was in the stars, it was in their conversations. They just couldn't hear it. And as soon as they opened a line, any line would have done, it flooded through like light through an open door. So the reason why they got that positive result was because there was a message ready to come through, and it would come through any way that it was opened because of the force and because it was part of their fate. The second reason you'll see that some people do describe what I believe to be genuinely accurate and good contacts where they've gained information or interaction with specific figures is because they're very skilled, fastidious practitioners. They make sure everything's protected. They make sure they're pure in all senses. They make sure that everything resonates with and tunes into and dials into the exact target they're looking for. They've made it work. To me, these circumstances are like when you see someone who's a great craftsman or artist with wonderful talent and experience, and they can use any brush or use a very poor tool. We shouldn't try to imitate those because we'll probably get a different result. They have overcome the inherent weakness and limitations of the device and put it on the track they wish it to. In honesty, the amount of effort it takes to do this, I would recommend should be applied to developing better techniques, a more direct ability to observe these hidden forces and to make contacts with the correct higher consciousnesses that we are seeking to be in conversation with. My name's Martin Folks, and I hope that this video is of great use to anyone who's thinking of using the board as a means of communication. Until next time, let's make every word, thought, and action count.